Okay, so we're going to talk about FHA loan today. Hello everyone, welcome to FHA loan part 2. So we're going to review a little bit about what we did last week. So last week we talked about FHA part 1. Today we talk about part 2. So what is the minimum down payment requirement for FHA loan? Please yell out if you know the answer. People on the Zoom too. 3.5%. Yay, thank you. You guys got it? Who qualify for FHA loan? Everyone. Anang, you're so good. As long as you buy an owner-occupied property. Anang, you really good. Where to apply for FHA loan? I know the rule. Yeah.
Pacific why?
Pacific why? That's my favorite answer. Okay, does non-borrower spouse need to provide credit report? Yes or no?
No. Yes.
Yes. Only FHA loan, non-borrower spouse.
So he goes.
Only two options. The first wrong is the second right.
You are very smart. So we have to provide credit report even the borrower, the wife or the husband not on the loan for FHA loan. Okay, and then we need. Now we just remind you that we need at least 2 traditional credit score. Okay, normally each of us have 3 credit score, but for some reason if we run the credit report and it only show 2, that's okay too. And now you have anything to say? Okay, for cash out transaction, no mortgage late in the previous 12 months. Okay, for refinance rate and term, it's okay to have 1 late payment. Or for purchase loan, it's okay to have 1 late payment. But for refinance cash out, no late payment.
Wow.
Is the required. Medical collection and charge-off account with balance may be excluded from the liability or debt. So that's why we said FHA loan is easier than conventional loan. Tax lien, delinquent tax debt may remain unpaid if the borrower has entered into a valid repayment agreement and has made at least timely payments for 3 months of scheduled payment. So this is really easy condition, right? Judgment collection must be paid prior to closing. Okay, BK bankruptcy chapter 7, 11, and 13, 2 years from discharge date. Normally for FHA loan it's easier, like you can get the FHA loan right away after 2 years of discharge date for bankruptcy. And for foreclosure and short sale we require 3 years after the settlement completion date. Okay.
So bankruptcy is better than foreclosure.
Yeah, foreclosure is only hard. For conventional loan it takes 7 years. So somebody have a foreclosure and they want to apply for a conventional loan, they have to wait 7 years. But for FHA loan, they only wait 3 years. So it's easier. Oh, where I'm going? I'm going backward. All right. So we will learn more stuff today, part 2. So we're going to learn about income requirement. Can one borrower have 2 FHA loans, right? We're going to answer that question. Can the previous FHA loan be used as rental income for the second FHA loan, right? Can an FHA borrower use money from their business bank account for their down payment? So after this 30 minutes, you will all know to answer all these questions. Does FHA loan require reserve? In what situation? You will learn it after this. Does FHA loan allow gift fund? Okay, so you will be able to answer all this question afterward. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yay!
Did you pay him today?
Full energy.
Did you pay him today?
He has so much energy because he ate green yesterday. He do the 10-day challenge.
Yeah, everyone, not me.
I'm gonna start using
He's vegetarian.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my breakfast and it's have celery, spinach, and mango.
Where's mine?
Okay, so we talk about income requirement. Can you read me the first one, Alec?
Salaried borrowers, most recent 30-day period with year-to-date earnings and 2 years of W-2s. If we use rental income, we will need tax returns.
Thank you, Alex. So why they don't mention about tax return? Look like they only need 30 days of pay stuff, and then W-2 of 2 years. They only ask for rental income tax return when we use rental income, because actually they go directly to the IRS and verify the tax. But for us, Pacific-wide, we only ask for tax return because we don't want to wait until the lender find out what's going on with our client tax return. Even lender doesn't require it, doesn't mean we don't ask for it. Because lender know what we know already, so they trust us. They don't even, because in the past, we only send them a tax return and they verify anyway. Now they don't want a tax return no more. They just want W-2, pay stub, and then they verify tax return with the IRS. They don't have to spend time looking at two things to see if they are matching or not. Because in the past, when they look, just one tiny little thing that's not the same, they go back and forth with the condition. That's waste of time. And they have to spend time reading both transcript. Now they only read one time. They're getting smarter. Less time consuming, right? So even for conventional loan, that's the same thing. But we always, at Pacific-wide, ask for 2-year tax return. And then can you read me the next one?
Sorry, I cannot see. OT, bonus, and tip income must have been received for past 2 years. Periods between 1 and 2 years may be acceptable if it was consistently earned for at least 1 year and valid to the minimum.
Thank you, Anna.
What's that one?
WVOE, that written VOE. So whenever we want to use overtime, bonus, or tips or commission, we have to have the client, the borrower, have to earn that income for at least 2 years, and most of the time we have to do the written verification of employment to show to the lender how much they earn, the commission or bonus, or to see how consistency it is it going up or going down. It's 2 years. If someone only earned the overtime for more than a year, what happened? We will look at, of course, that had to be in the tax return and had to show on their W-2, and in the VOE we have to see that last year they earned this much, this year they earned more in overtime. So if they see there's a good chance this client continue to get overtime, then we can use it. But that's a rare case that they accepted. But we have to work hard on it to fight for a client to get that. But it works sometimes. Like not all the time when they don't have 2 years, we cannot use their overtime or bonus. We can work on it with with lender to see what they ask for to make them satisfied, so that we can use that bonus or overtime, even though we only have over a year of overtime. Okay. Last one, self-employed and borrow. For everyone who's self-employed, who do 1099, who's self-employed, we need 2-year tax return. Okay. Yes.
The W in the VOE.
That written verification of employment. So every time I need to use overtime, bonus, or commission, or tips, I always must do a written verification of
HR
employment.
have to send you.
We normally send it. There's many different ways to get the written VOE. We can send the form directly to HR and ask them to fill it out, or a lot of company now, they do it over some website like the Works number, and those will charge money like $50. $50. The client have to pay for that. Yeah, but it's really quick. I actually like those system because we can get the VOE right away. Of course, the client have to pay for it, but the VOE we send to the HR, it takes time to get it. They will do it for us, but it takes a few days or more. Any question before we go on? All right, rental income. Jivanan, can you read rental income for me?
Can you move your head a bit?
Oh, sorry.
Rental income from a principal residence that is being vacated will only be considered if the borrower is relocating due to a new job or job transfer that's more than 100 miles from the departing residence.
Thank you. So this will answer the question, can one borrower have 2 FHA loans? Okay, let me explain why. If a couple, when they just married, they bought a condo, right, using FHA loan, and after a year or two, they have a new job, and they have to in a location that we have to drive like 1 or 2 hours. It's more than 100 miles. How long do we drive for more than 100 miles? Is that like 2 hours?
From now to JC, rush hour, 2 hours.
2 hours. So if he had to work in another city, that he had to travel more than 100 miles. So now he have to move over there to buy a different house because he doesn't want to commute every day. So when they buy another home in another city with another FHA loan, in the letter of explanation, we have to send to the lender saying, I am changing job and this job is far away from where my first house is. So this will be I'm buying a home for my owner occupier again. So that will be another owner occupier property and another FHA loan. So one person can have 2 FHA loans. Not only that, when he moved to another city, the house that he bought the first time, he can use it for rent. And he can use the rental income if the equity in the home is more than 25%, meaning if he bought that house, if the house value right now is $1 million, for example, the first home is $1 million, and if the loan amount is less than $750,000, that means he have over $250,000 equity in the home, more than 25% equity. He can use the rental income from this house, potential rental income, to qualify for the FHA loan that he buying in another city. So this answers our question that yes, people can have 2 FHA loans if they have a reason. And of course, they have to qualify for the another loan, right? Because this is a full doc loan, we have to look at income. Okay? That's one reason. But another reason, if a couple buy a condo that the home is too small, 2 years later they have baby, and they need another place to live in with more rooms because the condo is too small. What they do, they can buy another home even in the same city. But because I need another home because my family have additional beautiful babies, so we need more room. So now they have a reason to buy another home and apply for an FHA loan. So we good.
Valid reason.
Yeah, good reason, right? The first one is job, relocation. The second one is family extension, right?
How about another wife?
Another wife, you gotta ask Alex. He go like,
I approve it.
only Alex approve, so you have to go through Alex to get the loan.
Alex, you need a mayor. Hey, Alex.
You'll be in trouble.
Okay.
All the men will vote for you, all the women will beat you.
So Alex should run the president of US next time.
Yeah.
Linda, can you read me the next one? The following is required what?
The following is required: an executed lease agreement for minimum of 1 year, and evidence of security deposit and or 1 month's rent is recommended, and appraisal required to document 25% equity in the property.
Thank you so much, Linda. So you see, they asked for a 25% equity. So lender might ask to do appraisal on the previous home. The borrower have to pay for that appraisal too to make sure he has 25% equity. And because in order for us to use the rental income from the first home, we have to show the lender the lease agreement, and the lease agreement had to be at least 1 year lease agreement. Never submit a lease agreement with month-to-month lease. Lender never want to see month-to-month lease. They want to see a 1 year lease agreement. Okay. And in this case, we have to provide evidence of security deposit and 1 month rent. So we have to find a person who rent the property at that time to qualify to use the rental income. Okay? Any questions? Except an questions. Okay. So Vita, can you read me this one, the first two? Assess requirement. Now we talk about money.
2 months of bank statements and 60% of retired accounts.
Okay. So when we submit the loan for FHA loan to lender, we only ask for 2 months of bank statement. And why do we want to submit 2 months bank statement? Anybody knows?
Just for cash.
Because because 2 months bank statement, because lender makes sure the money was there more than 2 months. The down payment. If we want to say we put 200,000 down payment for the house we buy, the 200,000 had to be there, but not just deposit. Because the last 2 months, we want to show to lender is the money already there. We don't want to show lender that money was just deposit in the last 2 months, because everything just deposit. We have to provide paper trails or explain where the money come from. So all the agent here, your first time when you meet your client, you need to do this. You want to talk to them about money. This is the most important thing. So talk about money. To me, whenever I encounter a first-time home buyer or a person who approached me that asking me to help them to buy a home, I ask them a question: where is your money? It's kind of weird to ask people that question, but I ask that all the time. Where's your money? Because people might not leaving their money in the bank account. They might leave it somewhere else. So I have to say, if your money is everywhere, I need you to put in your bank account ASAP. Because the 2 bank statements that I submit to lender, I don't want to see any deposit in it. The only deposit that I want to see is your salary, not a big check, not cash, because cash is not usable. Lender doesn't allow to use cash. So if you put 10,000 cash or 100,000 cash in the bank account, that amount of cash will be frozen. You cannot touch it during the process. You just have to leave it there and not able to use it. So we need to talk to our client this in advance, because if we don't talk about this, what happened at the time you are in contract and we cannot do the loan because the client doesn't have any way to find more money to close the transaction, and the 100,000 sitting there doing nothing. So what we need to do is we talk to our client about money in the very first appointment. Okay, for people who have 401k, for people who have other kind of retirement bank account, we can use 60% of those. For example, if the retirement 401k have 100,000 in it, we can use 60,000 in there as reserve, or we can pull it out for down payment. 60% of it only. Chị Vân Anh, can you read me the business funds? This is
Business funds. Ownership is verified through a business license or corporate tax returns. It must indicate 100% full ownership.
Chị Vân Anh, can you use this microphone and talk in here? Because come over. Because I need you to, so people can hear you.
Oh, okay. Am I too soft?
Yeah, okay, read it again.
I'm too soft.
Now read it again.
Ownership is verified through a business license or corporate tax returns, and it must indicate 100% full ownership. Evidence that the borrower has full use of the funds and no repayment is required. CPA letter on letterhead. Evidence that the funds withdrawn are not an advancement against future earnings or future cash distributions. CPA letter on the letterhead. Bank statements must not have any abnormal large deposits, or source of funds will be required to be documented.
Thank you, chị Vân Anh. Thank you so much. So I will have to go to the last sentence first. I say bank statement must not have any abnormal large deposit. So when our client applying for an FHA loan, right, and he or she provide a business bank statement, make sure you look at the bank statement. Whenever we receive a bank statement, we want to review it. We want to see if any crazy large deposit was deposited recently, because the lender will question it right away, even though that is the business account. Business account should be showing the pattern. Like if this business, every time they deposit 5,000, 7,000, 5,000, 7,000, that had to be like a pattern. Like this month and that, and then the next month, 2 months look the same, that's okay. But if the business, you see almost every transaction is $500, $600, and then all of a sudden 10,000 and then 20,000, that doesn't make sense. Like the whole long deposit in there, like 80% of them are $500, $600, or even $200, and then there are 30% of it is 20,000, 30,000. That doesn't make sense. It had to look consistent. So when you look at all the business, okay, when my mortgage team, when you look at the bank statement from the business bank account, you have to look at it carefully. Is it consistently deposited like every day or once a week or twice a week? And also the amount, are they looking similar? Not exactly the same, no way, because business is not up and down but it had to make sense, okay? When it's not making sense, then you have to stop and talk to your client. What's happening? Why this so large? Normally people, they will deposit large amount of money when they are about to buy a home, and that's not acceptable, okay?
Yeah, the pattern changed.
Yes. So when you look at the bank statement, that's what are you looking for? You're looking for something like a pattern, okay? Okay, also they asked, when we use the money from the business bank account, the CPA will have to write a letter to confirm that using the money from this bank account won't hurt the business. You see that? So you need to know this in advance and advise your client. If you use your money from your business account, there's a big chance lender will require a letter from your CPA. Is that okay? Because a lot of time, people don't want to go to the CPA asking for a letter. It's hard. But if they really, really need to use the bank account from business, then they have to know in advance. So they know, surprise, okay? And also, in this case, the lender require the borrower had to own the business 100%. 100%, because if you only own the business 25% or 50%, how could you use the money from the business bank account? Does it make sense? Right? You can't, because you're not the only owner. You cannot use their bank the bank account, the company, for your own down payment to buy your own home, right? So in other
Good question about that.
Okay, good.
If let's just say you're 50% owner, could you borrow 50% of the money?
No, you cannot borrow any money during the time you doing loan.
Really?
You cannot, because that means you have another loan on top of the loan. Then how you qualify, right? You not, unless you enter into another loan, then they will say, okay, yeah, then what your payment? Then they include that into your DTI, right? Because your monthly payment will be in your DTI.
So the bank statements is only to
I'm saying,
income.
Hold on, sorry.
if you had 50% ownership in the company and you take 50% of the money
Okay,
that
good
you guys
question.
have in the account.
Good question. That for this FHA loan, it's a no, because whenever the guideline says something, it had to be exactly like that. But in conventional loan, it might be able to do it. We might be, but it had to depend on the lender overlay, and the lender also depend on the underwriter too. I think I see that situation one time, but I forgot how they solved the problem. I think they do allow to use it, but not much. I don't think they can use maximum 50% of whatever in the bank account. I don't think so. Because you own 50% doesn't mean you can take out all 50% or use it. I don't think so. But good question, Josh. I can look into it and find out for you, okay? Good questions.
Perfect, thank you.
Of course. All right, any question?
How do you show the evidence that the borrower has the full use of funds and no repayment is required?
The full use of fund from what?
It says evidence that the borrower has full use of the funds and no repayment is required.
That's why we need a CPA letter. You see? The CPA had to write in the letter, oh, my client, this person is okay to use all the money here. They don't need to repay to the business account, and it won't hurt the business. Thank you for the question. Very good questions. All questions are good questions. Okay. Linda, can you read this for me? Read the title and the bottom.
Reserves requirement. 1 to 2 units per AUS. 3 to 4 units properties, 3-month cash reserves, PITI required. May come from gift.
Okay, thank Linda. Okay, so reserve requirement. For when you buy just a single family home, there is no reserve requirement. Okay, but when you buy one, actually they say 1 or 2 units per AUS, meaning we have to run the loan application through an automatic underwriting system. AUS stands for automatic underwriting system. It can be DU or LP. And when we run through the system, and the system always kicks out some requirement or condition. And if it requires reserve, then we will have to bring in reserve. But for me, most of the time, for the 1 unit, I don't ever see any reserve. Okay, I don't know about the 2 unit, but most of the time, I don't see any reserve. For the 3 to 4 units, it always requires reserve. It's a 3-month cash reserve, PITI. P mean principal, interest, PI principal and interest, T tax, I insurance, right? So, okay, why people want to use FHA loan to buy 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit? Why?
No down payment.
They take advantage of it, right? They can, because they can, at the same time they can live in it at own occupy, and they can rent it out, the other units that they don't live in. This is the best way to invest in real estate.
And they don't have to down so much.
Yes, they only have to down the minimum requirement also. And also for the FHA loan, the loan limit is the county loan limit. But for example, for Santa Clara County, for 1 unit, loan limit is $970,000, but for 4 unit, it's $1.8 million. Again, this is really good loan program if somebody qualify, but they have to qualify for a big loan amount in order to get into that, right? Really awesome. So if you have, it's hard to find 4 unit, 3 unit, and 2 unit right now. People are holding off to it, making good money, right? But if they can use FHA to buy 4 unit, 3 unit, 2 unit, that's awesome. Good investment.
Manage of the OPM, other people's money.
Yeah, use people money to leverage your investment. People paying their rent, and you use that rent to pay for your mortgage. So maybe you live in that property for free with only 3.5% down payment. Awesome, right? Really awesome. So we should think about buying more duplex, triplex, and fourplex. Okay, I need someone to read this for me. Vita, you want to read the gift fund? Read the first one.
Acceptable sources may be provided by borrower's family member, employer or labor union, close friend with documented interest in the borrower, charitable organization or governmental agency, entity providing homeowners ownership assistance. Note, only family members may provide gift equity.
Okay. Okay, so I only go backward. So do you know what gift of equity is? Okay, let me explain it. So I'm doing one right now. The dad give his son a condo, but he wants the son to take over the mortgage. So it's the only way we do it is to go as a purchase. So the dad sell the condo to his son. I think the condo is worth like $600,000. So he sell to his son, but he only want the son to pay for the mortgage. So he give his son the down payment by the equity. Let me say it, it's easier to understand. So for example, I forgot the number, but the home value is $600,000 and the loan amount is $350,000. Okay, $350,000 loan amount in the house. So the dad say, I only want my son to take this home and pay mortgage for the $350,000. So that means the son only borrow a mortgage of $350,000. But the home value is $600,000. So the father give the son $250,000 in the house. You see, because the house is worth $600,000, the loan amount is $350,000. So the father have $250,000 equity in the home. You see what I'm saying here? So $250,000 equity in the home, the father give it to the son too as his down payment, so the son don't have to bring in any money, because the 250 down payment is paying by the dad using the equity of the house. So in here said only family member can provide gift of equity. In this case, father and son, sister and sister, brother and brother, mother and, you know, like have to be family to give gift of equity. It makes sense because friend doesn't give friend gift of equity, right? So I do this loan a lot for people who give a house to their children and the children doesn't have the down payment, but need to do a loan, and the parent only need the children to pay for the mortgage. That's how we do it. Okay, the gift fund can come from family member, employer or labor union or close friends, or charity organization, governmental agency, a lot of places. So this is for FHA loan. FHA loan kind of easy on gift funds. So for conventional loan, they don't allow so many things like this. For FHA loan, it's allowed gift funds in a much easier way. Okay. All right. Document requires. Alec, can you read the document requirements?
Gift letter signed and dated by donor and borrower that includes the donor's name, address, phone number, relationship to the borrower, dollar amount, and statement that no repayment is required.
Okay. So this is one of the conditions. Like we have to, whenever we want to use a gift fund, we have to submit to the lender the gift letter, and the gift letter has to have donor name, address, phone number, relationship to the borrower, dollar amount, okay, and statement that no prepayment required. So we only have the template of the gift fund, gift letter, so we can have the donor sign it and the borrower sign it, and the amount and where the money gonna come from. That's easy. The second one, can you read me the second gift requirement, Linda? Number 2, evidence
the transfer of gift funds with one of the following. If verified in the borrower's account, obtain donor's bank statement showing withdrawals and evidence deposit into the borrower's account.
Thank you, Linda. I want to do step that so I can explain. So most of the time, we don't want the donor give a check to the borrowers and then the borrower deposit a check to the borrower account. I don't want that, because look, if the donor give the check and the borrower deposit that check to the bank account, the donor will have to provide bank statement, the donor bank statement, to show to the lender, okay, the money is really from the donor. It has to show how the money get out of the donor bank statement, and that is a lot of people, a lot of donors, they say, I don't want to give my bank statement. So what we do to avoid to ask the donor for bank statement, we ask the donor to go to their bank to buy a cashier check, and the cashier check will be paying to the title company, not the borrower. So when the cashier check go directly to the title company from the donor, we don't need to provide any bank statement from the donor. See that? Okay, Linda, the next one.
If not verified in the borrower's account, obtain the certified funds, e.g. certified check, money order, cashier's check, wire transfer, or other official check. Evidencing payment to the borrowers or settlement agent, and donor's bank statement evidencing sufficient funds for the gift amount. Note, cash on hand is not acceptable source of donor's gift funds.
Thank you, Linda. So the first requirement, actually the second requirement for the transfer of the gift fund is, like we already talked about it. We can use a money order. We can use cashier check, wire transfer. To give to the donor can go to the bank, buy one of those, and that go directly to the title company. And we don't need to ask the donor for the bank statement. So the rule of thumb is the gift fund go from the donor directly to the title company under a different form of either cashier check, money order, or wire transfer. Then we don't have to bother the donor asking them for the bank statement. So just remember, when you talk to your client the first time, talk about the money first, like where your money, and your money is supposed to be in the bank account more than 2 months. And then also, if you need gift fund, do not move money around, because people, they have a tendency to go home and ask their parents to give the money and put in their bank account. That's a no-no. So do not move money around. The donor keep the money where it is, and then we will provide you a gift letter. In that gift letter, you only need to provide your mom or your dad, whoever give you the money, in that letter, and they sign it. Then the money will go from the donor directly to the title company at the very end, before you, like when you sign your final loan doc and you get your home in a few days. Don't move the money around at all. So you have to talk to your borrower, or first-time home buyer, about the gift fund at the very beginning, so that they don't move money around. Because at the moment they go home, because we didn't talk to them about it, what happened is they go home, they ask their parent or brother or sister who willing to give them the money for down payment. They ask them to give them a check, and then they go deposit into their bank account. The next thing we know is we have to ask for the donor bank account bank statements. And donor, normally they're not happy giving a bank statement. Okay, so talk about it with your client. Any questions? Why we just talk? Any question at all? No question, Anna?
No.
How much maximum one gift can
Good. At much as you need. They don't like 100% gift fund is okay. All right. Any question? If no question, so it's time to call your friends, families, and past clients to talk about FHA loan.
Yeah.
Because actually, not many people know why FHA loan, but we know why, right? FHA loan, because we have to pay less down payment, only 3.5% down payment, and everyone approved for it. Whoever buy the home for owner occupied. So it's a very easy loan because it's more flexible, because this is a government guarantee loan. We talk about how the government guarantee this loan in the part 1 of FHA loan. So if anybody want to go refresh or review, go back to the first video. Right now, we stop right here. So also one more thing before we go. If you know anyone who have FHA loan that rate is still over 5%, it's time to refinance. Or people who have FHA loan for a long time and they still paying for their mortgage insurance, it's time to ask them to refinance, to get rid of the mortgage insurance, because the mortgage insurance is a big part. I mean, it might be $200, $300 a month. Mm-hmm. Getting rid of the mortgage insurance will save them a few $100s. So if you know anyone have a FHA loan and have rate high, or now their home value is up, their LTV is low, because it's lower when the home value go up, right? Because home value go up so much lately, so the LTV must be very low right now. So we can refinance from FHA loan to conventional loan, so that they don't have to pay mortgage insurance anymore. So call your friends, your client, anyone, or go knock to neighbor's door and find out if they have an FHA loan and their LTV is lower than 80%. Ask them to refinance. Okay. And by the way, FHA loan can do refinance cash out up to 80% loan to value as well. Okay. Thank you so much for.
Hey, Minh Châu, I have a question, Minh Châu.
Yes, chị.
Yeah, I have a question regarding the mortgage insurance. So about upfront and also monthly. Would borrower have to pay both, or one of them, or how that works? Can you please review that first again?
Can you ask one more time? What happened? I'm sorry.
The mortgage insurance for FHA loan.
Yeah, there are two different mortgage insurance.
Right.
There's an upfront mortgage insurance premium, and that's a one-time pay. So when we do the purchase loan or when we do a refinance, we pay that one time at closing. But there's another one. It's called monthly mortgage insurance, that will pay every month with your mortgage.
So
Two mortgage
two
insurance.
type.
Two different.
Okay.
Yes, there are two different type of mortgage insurance.
The first one called guarantee, right?
Oh, okay, guarantee. Okay, got it.
Or
Okay.
guarantee.
Hello, chị Minh Châu. What about the debt to income?
I'm sorry. Debt to
What about the debt to income limit?
Ratio, that ratio.
Yeah.
debt to income ratio. Okay, good question, huh? The debt to income ratio is 50%, but sometimes 55% still works. It depends on when you run through DU. If DU approve 55%, then you good. FHA loan, VA loan, same thing. When you run through the DU LP, and if it's it passed, mean approved. Because conventional loan now is 50% DTI, FHA loan now can go up to 55% DTI. But you have to run through DU, and normally to make it happen like 55% DTI, the borrower should have more cash in the bank, more money in the bank. So the asset, we need a lot of asset or good credit. All that factors help with the DTI. So that's why I talked to the processing team last time. When you run through DU a loan, and if you see the DTI doesn't work because it's 49, 51, 52%, you just play with the number, put in more asset into the, like, for example, now they have 100,000 in their bank account, put 120, put 150. People can get more money because sometimes people send us like 5 different bank accounts, and we just put in 2 bank accounts. We leave out the other 3 because we don't want condition, but they have more money. When we need more money, we just put all the bank account in. So we make the loan works even the DTI is high. Even conventional loans, sometimes the DTI 52% still works for LP. If you enter into the problem, like you see, oh, the DTI 52%, run LP, run DU, and it pass, it works. Don't give up on the loan. I suggest everyone to run DU and LP for every loan you encounter. For example, somebody just come out from school and their credit score, their credit history is not too long, you will worry, wow, this person not even have the 12-month history. But when you run through DU and LP, if it pass, it pass. Don't just assume. Just DU and LP is so easy nowadays, so use it every day on all files to see. And also when you run through DU and LP, you see all the requirements. So when you submit the loan, you have everything ready, you submit it in everything with the DU and LP findings, you can get no condition for the loan approval. You can close the loan in 14 days.
What's DU?
DU is desktop underwriting system. That for from Fannie Mae, and then LP is the what is it? I forgot. But it's for the Freddie Mac. We have Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, 2 guys, 2 biggest investor, and they use 2 different automatic underwriting system, and one called DU, one called LP.
Different than DUI.
DUI is totally different. I don't want to mess with DUI. Do I answer your question, Hoa? Anyone else have questions?
Thank you, chị Minh Châu.
Of course, my pleasure. Okay, so I did the video on the first part of FHA loan. Please go ahead, watch it if you want to. I have it on my Facebook. I also creating a VA loan video. I will post it very soon. So you can always go back and watch those videos because I actually go through all the guidelines. And very recent guideline, it like right now. It's not like a year ago. So everything I talk here is right now, happening right now, recently, okay? Thank you everybody for being here today. And you know what? If you do your 10 days, I hope you feel good. I actually feel good already. Just the second day, feel really good, feel light, be happy. If you have any question on how to do the 10-day challenge, contact me, I will help you. And actually decided to do cleanse instead of just 10 days, I'm cleansing. So we'll be so clean, yay! Thank you everybody, bye-bye.
Thank you, MC.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody on Zoom, see you soon.